Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thank you so much for joining us. A massive drug bust here in Angeles City. And I'm going to go and give you the information. And then we're going to talk about some of the ramifications of the reality of what it is, because this is not your normal standard thing. So let's talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. Now, let me just get my screen ready here. So, I haven't showered and shaved yet this morning. I will. It's early yet. It's 0 dark 30, but I thought I would get this out and I wanted to get this done beforehand. Anyways, okay. So, what exactly happened here? Well, here, 155 kilos of shabu worth over 1 billion seized in Angeles City. Now, this actually happened in the afternoon of the 26th, which then posted on the 27th, and today is the 28th. So, 155 kilos, that's 341 pounds of shabu. And for those of you that may not be aware, shabu is it's methamphetamine. Actually, methamphetamine can be crystallized, powdered. It can be done a couple of different ways, but it's meth. All right. So, with various law enforcement units led by the Philippines Drug Enforcement Agency, it happened on Orchid Street in Timog Hills. Now, Timog Hills is over in Koreatown section of Angeles. And quite frankly, it is a predominantly foreigner subdivision, homes, moderately priced. It is one of the, it is considered a nicer area. They're small bungalows, large bungalows, big houses, small houses, a large Korean and Chinese population, and even an expat population. So, and Filipinos too, don't get me wrong. The operation was conducted for violation of blah, 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 with a confiscation of shabu estimated street value of 1,020,000,000 pesos. Now, 1 billion, I got some notes over here I had to write down, and I'll put it down there in text when I edit this. But 1 billion is 18 million US dollars. All right. And then it goes through and it talks about who it was done with and everything else. Now, if to give you a kind of an idea, that's the photo, one of a couple photos that's on the Angeles City Police Facebook page. That's all crystal meth. That's a lot. In fact, it then kind of got to me, and I said, wait a minute, what is it how much crystal meth is this? I mean, I don't know what that is in relation to, does it take a kilogram of crystal meth to get high? So I did a little bit of research this morning. Okay. So to make the longest story as short as possible, methamphetamine doses vary depending on the rate of administration, whether it's smoked, ingested, snorted, whatever, injected, the tolerance and the purity. But broadly speaking, a low dose, starter dose, 10 to 30 milligrams, moderate 50 to 100 milligrams, heavy 100 and 250. So for general calculation, agencies like the DEA and the NIDA, the National Institute on Drug Abuse, you commonly use 100 milligrams or 0.1 grams as a baseline for a dose. Well, if that's the case, all right, that means that 100 milligrams or 1 gram per dose came out to 1,550,000 doses of meth. And that's what brings us to the second part of this. Look, let's be very honest here. I don't care where you live in the world. I don't care whether, it doesn't matter. There are drug issues. Some of it's legal in some places in the world. A lot of it's not, especially not meth. I'm not sure, other than a couple places. In fact, I don't even know of anywhere. If you know somewhere where meth is actually legal, let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear about that. But I don't know of anywhere where meth is actually legal. Secondly, to make meth, you have to have pseudoephedrine. And in order to get that, typically what we would call in the U.S. Now, I don't know about Britain and Australia, New Zealand, the EU, but typically it's what we call a precursor. It is a compounded element needed to develop the drug meth. And it used to be, I don't know about now, but if you wanted to make it in the United States, they were having such a problem with Sudafed, not the child version dose, but the regular adult version of Sudafed. People were going into Walgreens and buying 40, 50, 150 boxes, the little 300 per box Sudafed, and they use that to make meth. You've got to have that precursor. Well, in the Philippines, getting pseudoephedrine, all right, is incredibly difficult in large quantities. And you need large quantities. The rest of what you need to make meth, from the research that I did, is really not that difficult to pick up just about everywhere. But you got to have that Sudafed. I'm just going to use that name. All right. It's not, first off, it's not over the counter here. You can't buy Sudafed over the counter. Now, they have a couple of generic antihistamine variants, but they're very, very low, if at all, any pseudoephedrine in it. All right, pseudoephedrine. Now, again, to the next step, manufacturing that amount, 350 pounds. No, I'm not buying it. This is what I think. This is my thought. Now, in the comments below, you can tell me what you think. Okay? And we should go back. One other thing I just want to go back to. All right? The targeted personality identified as Guangtu, a Chinese national, remains at large. Okay. Now, I don't believe that was manufactured here in the Philippines. I really and truly don't. I believe it was brought into the Philippines, obviously for distribution. I believe that it was a major distribution hub. I mean, that is, you know what? The total population of Angeles City, women, children, dumbass expats, and everybody else, okay, just barely goes over 500,000. There's 1,500,000 doses. So, unless everybody's going to get high for about 4 or 5 days, I mean, if we had to cut the numbers down to how many adults and everything else, I mean, that's a week's worth of meth for every adult in Angeles City. No, that's definitely distribution. I believe it was manufactured in China or somewhere else. I'm just going to say China because the guy that the lease and everything else is Chinese. All right. But I believe it was manufactured outside the Philippines, brought into the Philippines, and it's being distributed. Now, how easy is it to get it? Well, I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to keep some names out of it because, quite frankly, it's for their own privacy. I had breakfast the other day with, as I do every Tuesday and Thursday up at Tequila Reef, or almost every Tuesday and Thursday, with a guy. And this is a nice guy, straight up, straight, hardworking, military veteran, been around. I mean, this guy's a no bullshit kind of guy. And when I say no bullshit, I mean, he can walk the walk and he doesn't need to talk the talk. He really doesn't. It's obvious he has, this guy's got, I don't know, something like 5, 6 tours in the Middle East. All right. And then another 6, 7 tours, if I'm not mistaken, in Afghanistan. He's a straight up guy. And he's very straight. And he was telling me he was sitting on the rail at Kokomo's. He enjoys people watching. All right. He hasn't been in the Philippines that long. He's retired. But, actually, he's been in for, I think, over 6 months. But up in Angeles City, not that long. He was sitting at the rail. And if you've been at the rail at Kokomo's, the vendors come up, buy these sunglasses, buy this, Viagra, Cialis, Camagra, you need weed. What do you need? I can get you anything. And the guy says, Viagra, Cialis, and jokingly, he said he learned his lesson very quickly. He said, oh, no, I don't do that. I only do cocaine. Jokingly, like 3 minutes, the guy walks away, and like 5 minutes later, he comes back and he says, okay, how much do you want? I have it. How much do you want? Okay. Everything is available here. Everything's available everywhere. But this is a drug that's obviously been imported to the Philippines. I don't care what you say. It would make no sense if you manufactured that elsewhere, that you would bring it to Angeles City, you would distribute it from somewhere else, all right? A much bigger distribution. There's just not that much usage. Now, methamphetamine is also what they call shabu here in the Philippines. So, what is it that's going on? Why? I mean, I've never been a proponent of drug use in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry. I think that you know what? I'm not going to get into the specifics. I'm just don't do it, won't do it. And in addition to that, I quite frankly am not a proponent of it. It ruins families, it decimates populations, it kills neighborhoods, it creates violence. I mean, the link to violence and drugs is huge. But in the end, it's what do you think? Do you think it was made here? Do you think it's just going around to expats because it's here in Angeles City? I don't have any expat friends that I don't think any of them do meth. I really and truly don't. No, this is for general population as far as I'm concerned. They are decimating the Filipino population. It is a horrible situation. Now, it happens in Australia. It happens in the U.S. very frequently. I mean, the U.S. has a huge controlled substance abuse problem. It happens in the UK, apparently very bad there as well. But I think it's bad everywhere. I don't know. You tell me where it is. If you're not living here or if you live elsewhere here in the Philippines, where do you live? And what do you think the drug problem is in that area? Irregardless of what country, irregardless of what part of the Philippines. Tell us what you think. I think it's far worse than what we consider. sometimes. Thanks so much. Have a great day.